Hey guys, excuse the messy hair day, but I thought today I would take the time to show you my summer recommendations for books. There's not going to be a lot in this video just because I'm definitely more of a reader in the colder months than I am in summer and spring. But to me, summer is books that are set out at sea or set maybe somewhere in Europe, like Italy especially. So that's what most of these books are going to be centered around. Make sure to subscribe so you can see future videos. It's mostly vlogs on the channel right now, but I'm hoping to get more into the booktube community in these next few months. So if you have any suggestions for future videos, let me know. I'm thinking of doing a nautical books master list on here. I'm also doing one for Sparrow and Ivy, which is an online magazine, but I thought you guys might be interested in hearing my thoughts about it in a video as well, so let me know in the comments below if that's something you'd be interested in seeing. So without further ado, let's get started. For my first book, I am recommending Mr. Midshipman Hornblower by C.S. Forster. A lot of you that follow me on Instagram under the same handle know that I go on and on about this saga. There's 11 books total, which is quite a few to commit to, but I feel like if you want to get your feet in the water and give it a feel, definitely go with this one first. Forster has written them out of order in his lifetime, and they're all considered historical fiction, but I feel like each book is such a good read during summertime. In this one, we start out seeing the main character as 17 years old, and he's just this infernal piece of bad luck because he has seasickness and he's joining the Royal Navy during the Napoleonic Wars, and that's just what a terrible situation to put yourself in. And he's just this little anxious ball of misery, and I feel like he's so relatable in this book, and it's so comforting to see him go through these adventures and rise through the ranks. So I recommend this book wholeheartedly, and even just the cover art I feel like is so beautiful, and it's just one of a kind. I really recommend it. So for my next book, I'm recommending a read that a friend got me, actually, A Room with a View by E.M. Forster. She had read this first and just fell in love with the scenery in this book. It was published in 1908 and it's set in Italy, as you can see from the cover, I believe. Okay, so this is details of Florence actually from this cover. Even the spine is just beautiful. But besides from the cover, we have a fairly young main character again who is just, she ends up in these really weird fiascos and kind of gets herself in trouble way too much, and it's just a really light-hearted book to read during summer. I would say this is more of a filler book if you're looking to read something short and sweet, even though it's roughly, let's see, it's roughly 300 pages, but it goes by super quickly, so I feel like this would be a really great book during your summer reads. And then I'm doing a shameless plug for my author friend, Jasmine Stanway. She wrote The Fields by My House, which is actually a duology right now. She thrives on historical fiction, and this one is set in Eastern Canada in 1903, so we're getting that Edwardian period. It's very Anne of Green Gables-esque. It's a slice of life story, and you just kind of fall in love with Mabel, which is the main character in this book, and I actually illustrated these, so it's special to my heart, and you can find these on Barnes & Noble, so make sure to give those a look. And this read is no surprise to most of you, again, who follow me on Instagram or have been with me for almost 3 years on Bookstagram. It is Frenchmans Creek by Daphne du Maurier. Du Maurier is my favorite author of all time. I want to say she specializes in historical fiction, and this one is about a woman named Lady Saint Dona Colombe. Am I saying that last name right? Somebody please correct me if I'm wrong there. But you can probably guess it's a story about pirates, but it's not your typical pirates. This book is set in Cornwall, and this pirate he likes to stay clean, he likes to keep his crew clean, he sketches birds in his free time, so definitely not your typical pirate, and it's just such a heartwarming and heart-wrenching story, and you feel conflicted the whole time. You're not sure if you agree with Donna's decisions or if you hate her for it, and for a book to make you feel that strongly about a character, I feel like is worth the read. And it's such a summery, adventurous novel that I feel like is really worth it. And this next book is actually a biography, which I have not read a biography in a long time. It's M Train by Patti Smith. This was the first book from her that really got me hooked on biographies, actually. First of all, can we just admire that cover? It is so sleek and minimalistic and absolutely gorgeous. And then you turn to the back, and it's a cafe shot from one of the cafes I sorely miss skipping out on in Paris. So just a beautiful book we have. Look at that. She just knew what she was doing designing this book. It is heart-wrenching, I have to say. She's dealing with the loss of her husband in this book, but there's also just quiet scenes where she's sitting in cafes, people watching, drinking her espresso, and you just feel so connected to the author in this book. She talks about grief and natural disasters. She buys a home in the middle of a hurricane, and there's just so much going on here, and I was enamored with Patti and the way she tells her life in this book, and I feel like it's such a good introduction if you're looking for a book to get you into biographies, so I really recommend this one by Patti Smith. And then the last two are actually YA books that I was surprised with myself because I haven't read YA in literal years. I think the last book I read for YA was Fangirl, which should tell you something because that was published years ago, and that's really the last book I read from young adult fiction for the longest time because it just didn't pull me in the way classics and contemporary fiction does. So this one is Daughter of the Pirate King by Tricia Levenseller. And I don't know what it is about pirate stories in summertime that really grips me, but this one blew me away. It's the book that got me back into YA. So our main character's name is Alosa, and she is on this mission to really impress her father because she's supposed to inherit his kingdom, basically. She's to be the pirate queen in years to come. And so she's sent on this mission to retrieve a map for her father, and she gets into some mischief on the way and makes some really big realizations, and there's a romance involved and mysteries about the sea that really captivated me, and I read this book in 1 or 2 days. I stayed up super late trying to finish it, and that's rare for me for a book to keep me like that. I think the last book that did that for me was Jamaica Inn by Daphne du Maurier. So definitely worth the read if you are able to buy it. It also has a sequel. And then what I also learned is that the author is making kind of a spin-off book later. I think she said the release date will be sometime in 2023, which I'm delighted about. I can't wait to read more from her. So get this one while you can because there's plenty more content from the author to enjoy. Now this one isn't as good as Daughter of the Pirate King, I would say, but it definitely kept my interest throughout the entire read. It's Fable by Adrienne Young. I can't even remember where I saw this first. It was somewhere on Bookstagram, and I've just heard everybody talk about it if you like nautical books, which I love nautical books. And this one didn't disappoint. There's not as many captivating scenes, I would say, but it kept my interest, which is a feat in itself. And the great thing is, I believe it's a trilogy now, and then the author is releasing a prequel this November about Fable's father, which I'm actually more excited about than reading the sequel and then the third book. I'm actually more excited about that one. Either way, first of all, stunning cover again, and such an interesting read. So those are my top recommendations for summer. If you have any more recommendations, leave them in the comments below. And I hope you subscribe to my channel because I'm really just focusing on books and fashion and travel and just all the things that I'm passionate about. And so it's like it's like a love letter to all the things I enjoy. So I hope you stick around and make sure to go support my Instagram and follow me for more content. So see you guys later.